How long does it actually take to get a hair transplant in Turkey? I went to Vera Clinic in Istanbul, Turkey. I got 4,000 grafts done, and I'm gearing up to come back this year to get another transplant in May. So let me tell you how the process goes down. The first day is really simple. You just fly to Turkey, you land, you find your driver at the airport. They take you to a beautiful 5-star hotel, and you're able to chill there for the night, eat some food, sit by the pool, and just relax because day 2 is operation day. On day 2, you wake up early, you have a quick breakfast, and the driver comes and picks you up and takes you out to the clinic itself. First thing they do is bring you up to check your donor area, where they use a microscopic tool to check each individual graft to see how strong your donor area is in order to get the best density possible for your hair transplant that you're about to get. Then the doctor draws the blueprints for their hair transplant itself so the surgeon can know where each graft is supposed to go and how dense each spot is supposed to be based on your individual profile, and we can get to action. The next thing they do is shave the hair on your head or whatever's left of it, and then they prep you to go into the operating room and finally get this transplant. Obviously, I couldn't film the actual operation, so I'll just explain what happens. For the first couple of hours, you are on your stomach on a massage chair, and they are basically getting those grafts out from the back of your donor area. Then they flip you on your back, and they prep the top of your head for those grafts to be implanted in. Then you have a little break, which is what this video is during that break, and you get to eat some lunch. And then the next couple of hours after that, they are putting those grafts on the top of your head. In total, it takes about 7 to 8 hours, and people ask about pain a lot. It's not painful. You're numb the entire time. The only thing that hurts is that numbing process, which is about 4 or 5 minutes long. And yes, that hurts. It's like a little pinch. They put that anesthesia right in your head, and it definitely hurts, but it's really not that bad. And the most uncomfortable part for me was when they were extracting the grafts from the donor area, because you're on your stomach. And once I got flipped on my back, I was a lot more comfortable. I actually slept for like the majority of the transplant. This is how I was looking fresh out of the operation room. 4,000 grafts. I'll tell you what, even though it looks a little crazy, I was in good spirits. I was so happy to finally get this done. Then they gave me the meds that I needed and the neck pillow, which I'd have to sleep on for the next 10 days. Then we headed back to the hotel, and I literally just slept for the rest of the night as I had to be ready for day 3, which was my final day in Turkey. Day 3 began bright and early, and we had some breakfast and then checked out of the hotel for the very last time to head to the clinic. Also, side note, I'm aware I have the same shirt on. That was my mistake. I should have wore a button up because you're not allowed to take off shirts like that after a transplant. But at the end of day 3, don't worry, I put on Nick's flannel and we were all set. First order of business was having my head lotioned up and let it sit for 30 minutes while I watched a video teaching me how to clean my transplanted area for the next 10 days. I then proceeded to get my very first wash, which felt amazing. They unwrapped where my donor area was covered and completely cleaned my head. I literally felt like a new man when this was done. Then I got some low light laser therapy for a couple minutes, which is great to promote healing, and was just relaxing, nothing too crazy. Now it was time for what I was most excited for, which was time in the hyperbaric chamber for about an hour to truly promote healing for this transplant. For those of you who don't know, a hyperbaric chamber is used by many pro athletes. It promotes healing in such a crazy way. You breathe 100% oxygen for X amount of time, and the pressure rises significantly within this little vessel. And basically what it does is it makes you have so much more oxygen within your body that a lot of oxygen is being carried over to these tissues, and it helps heal to a significant value with all of these red blood vessels and everything needed for your body to self-heal like Spider-Man. And before I see comments about this, the doctor is not bald because transplants don't work. He's bald because he's not a transplant doctor. He's a hyperbaric chamber doctor, and he probably has been bald since his 20s, way before he worked with these people, and it wasn't possible to get a transplant at that time. In my old video, I got a lot of comments like that, and it just didn't make any sense. The transplant doctor has a full head of hair. Anyway, they then gave me my care package to send me home. I left Vera Clinic, headed to the airport, flew home to Boston, drove back to New Hampshire to my apartment, and I was done with my first trip to Turkey for my very first hair transplant. Big thank you to Vera Clinic for being so accommodating. Everything regarding them is linked in my bio if you want to check them guys out. Thank you guys so much. Have a phenomenal day, and the longer vlogs of each day are posted on my page.